This is World Insight. We're focusing on Davos agenda today. The Davos World Economic Forum over the years have been focusing on some of the most important common issues the world is facing today. And this year, of course, the pandemic, it has been a very difficult year. With that topic, 2021 World Economic Forum Crystal Award ceremony was held virtually last Sunday due to the pandemic. The Crystal Award is hosted by Hilde Schwab, the chairperson and co-founder of the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship. The awards recognize those who demonstrate their commitment to improving the state of the world. The past 1 year have provided no shortage of opportunities for improvement. Many artists and social entrepreneurs have continued their creative pursuits while in lockdown. Mrs. Schwab is a patron of artists and social entrepreneurs over the years. She discusses how creativity, inspiration, and appreciation for what we have are paramount for coping with COVID fatigue and anxiety. She also tells me the pivotal but overlooked role arts and culture plays in our society, especially amid the pandemic. Let's take a listen. Joining us now through Zoom, Hilde Schwab, chairperson and co-founder of the Schwab Foundation for Social Entrepreneurship with the World Economic Forum. What a pleasure.
It's a great pleasure to see you.
Good to see you, and you're shining, Hilde. I remember, I remember very clearly, in fact, exactly a year ago, I was hugging you in the corridor of the World Economic Forum in Davos last year.
I remember that very well also, and it seems like a long time ago, but then still not really long ago.
I'm looking forward to do that again in the near future, hopefully.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hilde, you have been instrumental in bringing in different elements into the World Economic Forum, particularly about culture and arts. Tell me more about how much role they will be able to play in a world that we do not have much certainty and we are still troubled by the global pandemic.
Yes, I think the artistic and cultural community is suffering a lot because the artists need the public. But now everything is closed. There are no theaters, no operas, there are no exhibitions. So it is very hard for them because they do need a public. And so what we did at the World Economic Forum and the World Arts Forum, we brought together many art institutions, museums, and foundations who work with artists to create kind of an alliance to find out what can be done to help artistic and cultural leaders. And so we are discussing this regularly via Zoom, of course. Artists and cultural leaders are not short of inspiration and creation, but what they need most right now is financial help. And we try to give this.
How?
Well, there are a couple of institutions who have funds that they can, with which they can help the artists with their creation. So something we did also is, of course, the Crystal Award winners that we are still continuing. We don't want to stop that.
The opening film is already quite an achievement. It's trying to incorporate all the artists, particularly the musicians coming from all over the world, particularly the young ones, to let them be able to play one piece together from very different parts of the world. We see that over the past 1 year, that kind of performance, but when it's on the stage of the World Economic Forum, it's a very different thing and it's a very different weight.
Of course, it is never the same. But that's all we can do right now, and we really want to come back to the real thing, and see the people have a physical presence. But for the moment, we can't do this. not many, of course, are coping very well. But most of them, thanks to their creativity, they find new ways to reach their audiences via smaller, let's say, concerts or smaller works they are showing at smaller functions. So I think not all is lost. I mean, I have big hopes for the cultural community, but just something I'm much more concerned about is the social entrepreneurs who are also, there are also artists who are social entrepreneurs, and they have a very, very hard time right now too.
And these social entrepreneurs, these artists are always the ones that provide inspirations for us on a daily basis, and yet they are the first being hit in a way.
Yes, exactly. So I think it is our duty to try to help as much as we can.
But, you know, Mrs. Schwab, many would say, well, we have too many priorities. You know, the businesses are on the verge of collapse because of very long, you know, quarantine and all the global pandemic and the economic sluggishness. You know, the political unpredictability is also a huge problem. There's racial tensions and this and that. And maybe say, we have too many priorities to struggle with. How would we be able to have the extra time, the extra energy for arts and culture? Your thoughts?
Well, I think it's a choice. You have to be conscious that artists bring another dimension to your life, to your soul, and to your heart. And it is very important, especially in this time where many people are anxious. There is a lot of insecurity, anxiety, and I think inspiration from artists, we really need that.
What kinds of inspiration have you got? What kind of artists have you been, you know, personally interacting with? What kinds of stories can you share with us about yourself, your relationship, your stories with the artists?
Yes, I have been discussing, of course, with artists from our community, but also with other artists. We had a long discussion with, you will see the introduction together with Platon,
yes,
photographer from New York. Then I've been discussing with Yo-Yo Ma via email, and with a filmmaker from South Africa, Anand Singh. And so it's very important to hear their voices and to hear what they think we have to do in order to stay the persons we are, and not you know, somber into some depression, which is very, very real for many people. The artists give me hope because they look forward. They have a lot of creative ideas for new concerts, new exhibitions. Someone is creating new sculptures, new paintings. So I think this is very important to take into account.
I love the word you use, hope. That's what we in urgent need, isn't it, Mrs. Schwab?
Yes, because this will go over. I mean, has been a very, very bad year, very difficult year for all of us, as a matter of fact, because this pandemic has is all over. I mean, it's in every country, every person, in every sector of society. And we really need a lot of strength to get over it. But I'm sure there is hope that we can do this if we work together.
The events that you have been working for every year for the World Economic Forum, particularly the winter one, has been instrumental in setting the tones of the whole year.
Well, of course, one keyword you just mentioned is hope.
Yes.
And another keyword for me, I think, is collaboration, because we cannot do this alone. We really need to get together. We had so many problems before the pandemic, and it made us, I hope, made us a little bit going back to our roots, think about what we have been doing to the environment, for instance, get down to earth, be more rooted. So I think this is my hope. And also something I realized there was at the beginning, at least even now, was a lot of solidarity. I could observe people being really conscious of what other people went through. There was a lot of helping each other. You know, we were clapping for the hospital workers. Young people went shopping for the elderly who couldn't leave their homes, and you know, all these little things that were extremely important. And I think we should bring this over to the post-pandemic world.
I love that, every sentence you just said. Mrs. Schwab, you've been working with Professor Schwab for setting up the World Economic Forum, and also going through the ups and downs of unpredictability of the world. Now, looking back, particularly with the current situation, what do you think has been some of the most important things that we need to bear in mind? I really want to invite some of your wisdom in this regard, because you've been bringing the foundation together and also your family together throughout this very difficult year. I really want to know more about that.
Yes, maybe just to start at what happened at the beginning, just right here in a local place in Switzerland. But I think it's a mirror of everything of what happened throughout the world in the beginning of this year. There was a shock and disbelief of what was going to happen. Then we had lockdown, for instance, in Switzerland. The forum went into home office. And everything, I felt everything became eerily quiet. There were no planes, no cars. It was a very quiet time to spend at home. And I must say I appreciated that instead of traveling the world constantly. So long walks in nature, getting rooted. But then, of course, after some months, people started to long for physical contacts. And we are still at this point where we have to weigh, can we have physical contact or is it too dangerous? So this crisis, I think, finally made us also aware that our satisfaction does not come just from material success, but from our well-being, including social and cultural dimension, of course. Now, as I said, the pandemic touched everybody. Millions are fearing for their jobs. People lost their loved ones, and there's still a lot of anxiety and insecurity. So I have been talking about hope, but I feel right now we are a little bit stuck where we are, and we don't move forward in this fight.
After doing all this work for the organization, for the World Economic Forum, for your family, and for the artists, I mean, in the middle of the night, when everything is quiet down, how do you make yourself settled in such a world when there are so much uncertainties?
I feel I'm privileged to live in Switzerland, to have a job, have a house, have a wonderful family. So I'm very, very happy about that. And I just look around at the world and I try to help wherever I can, in small things or even in bigger things, in global issues, tackling global issues like the World Economic Forum does. This is my duty, and I love to do it.
I learned two words, gratefulness and humbleness, from your answer just now. Thank you so much, Mrs. Schwab. Good luck, good health to you and all your beloved ones.
Thank you, Derwin. Thank you.
Thank you, Hilde. Hilde Schwab from the Schwab Foundation. That's all we have for today. If you'd like to see more, search World Insight or check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Tian Wei. On behalf of the team, thanks for watching this special edition of Davos Agenda. Bye for now.